I've been writing a side story for the Free Body Problem post book one thing, and I will be now doing extract of the recording. To this extent, it will be a mostly thing, and if I can get visual pictures in the background in stills, I will. If I can't, I can't. But the point is, I will just highlight what I've done so far, which is 3,459 words. And it's not, just to say right now, it is not complete in any form. I have just started the initial stuff, and my concept and plot outline beyond this point will greatly expand, with different characters taking different routes. And in some ways, this is a good teaser to go into it. And with that, leading on from this segment, I'll be going over that. As a side note though, to get the best understanding of what I write, ideally you have read the aforementioned named book, the Free Body Problem book. Because much of the concepts I will be working with is the assumption of knowing you know full well what is said in that book itself. And just to clarify, none of this is linked to the Netflix adaptation of the Free Body Problem in any way, form, and any concepts brought up in the Netflix adaptation of the Free Body Problem is not being used in here. I'm using completely the English translation of the original books. Clarification over. I'll first begin with the character list and concept list, and of course you can refer back to this if need be, because this is to give more understanding of who are we dealing with. Li Mingzhu, who is classified as a surviving ETO member who is devout to the cause and pushes for the ideals of Trissolarian society to shine on Earth. He is also a academically trained political scientist. Christopher Marshall, an American former union leader who is illegally in China supporting the Chinese chapter of the ETO. He is an interesting character and will make more impact later on, as his sacrifice will be impactful to the greater narrative. ETO, Earth Trissolarius Organization, and that is the cultists who worship the invasion forces coming to Earth and better Earth and work to better the chances of their successes. One thing clarified about ETO is they have different factions and different subsects to the ETO, so they are not one monopoly itself. Now, political terms. National People's Congress, China's highest official body where they can amend laws and the constitution. Back to another character, Mike Evans, which I will classify in the book, writing as Evans, an ETO major leader who was in direct contact with Trissolarius itself, killed by a combination of Chinese, American and British forces in the book. Exact nation build up I forgot, but it was a combined effort. Trissolarians is an alien species who is fleeing their home planet, looking for a new homeland, targeting Earth. The Lord, the term used by the ETO cultists to refer to Trissolarian civilization. MSS, Ministry Set of Security, that should be quite obvious. Chinese state security internally. 610 Office. 610 Office is something made in 1999 to combat cults. Prelude. Ants fighting ants, the war of futility and suicide. Colonies of ants fighting other colonies of ants. Such is the fate of the divided and troubled community. Ants do not know their greater position in where they live. Ants fight ants, while humans watch over them as gods over tribal wars, controlling who wins and loses for the sake of the ecosystem. Ants and humans are not that different, fighting with numbers and phony concepts of loyalty to one's country, tribe, or community. Our God is reflective to power. Who is God is subjective. To humans, others are God, clinging to the hope of salvation, amnesty, and claims of loyalty to God's will. God, however, is non-existent and an illusion of our mind. Human worship what is perceived to be more powerful than them. Be it weapons, money, governments, or other humans. Like ants, humanity will fight and kill each other over claims of legitimacy, power, and authority, and like ants, will kill each other for all eternity in a cycle which will continue. Some in this eternally deadly game are pawns, some are proactive, yet some are incidental puppets. Truth, justice, and democracy is nothing in scale of the universe. A planet of ants fighting eternally with each other, having their role. Some delude themselves to be God among ants, while some are gods among ants, rejecting the power of God, while others are blind to who is God and who is the ant, unable to know their position. Chapter 1. A New Order. Brother Zhu, wake up. In a cabin in a forest, a group of remnant ETO members is in hiding. Li Mingzhu. Yes? Waking up from sleep with confusion about the urgency in the eyes of the person standing above him. What is it? Be sharp about it, as you know I am sorry when I wake up. Zhu looked inside with awkwardness. The response was as direct as Zhu's temper. At the moment, look, something bad happened. Really bad. It'll impact our work majorly. So you need to get up now. Get a coffee now. The news needs to be set with you in a waking up state. Moving. Zhu slowly got up, looking at the time, seeing it was early in the morning, way too early to be up. Walking to the cabin's kitchen, speaking to himself, he said, Please don't say this is a stupid fucking prank. Yes, I'm aware of the evils of human tyranny has done on the meeting of capturing our leader. What else could it be so awful for us to wake up? Turning to the kitchen, pouring water into the kettle, turning on the heat, and letting it boil, sitting down, closed his mind to focus. Zhu joined ETO before the organization became global as part of the Chinese branch. The Chinese sector of the ETO suffered more hardship than other branches. Coordinated attacks by the People's Armed Police has made some connections to new members hard. The attack, which had Yi Wenjie detained, caused a huge problem with local organization for both the PLA and People's Armed Police. Made anyone even remotely involved in the ETO declared a criminal automatically. The ETO has been put on top of the anti-cult list. Affiliation now means immediate arrest. Li Mingzhu. Hey, have you heard National People's Congress is in light of everything going to propose an amendment to the anti-cult legislation? Asking while pouring his coffee and starting to drink it. A young American man responded with a face as urgent as before. Christopher Marshall. Yes, I heard, but isn't that a core issue here? The embassy doing stuff like this is not out of place, but the reason why I wake you up is rather the recent revelation about the Lord revealing himself. Li Mingzhu. Oh yes, of course, I know. We all seen the Lord's glorious message. What does that have to do with waking us up? Christopher Marshall, it is everything to do with it. Are you not worried about loss of communication lately, as it is clear the Lord's messages are not here anymore? Li Mingxu, are you of so little faith that the Lord's words, no matter being here, is wavering your heart? I fail to see how that has any impact on anything. You know full well I'm grumpy, and so why bring up irrelevant points? Christopher Marshall, it isn't irrelevant. It's very important. Why did Evans have to die? Why didn't the Lord abandon Evans? Evans was the best of us all, a true patriot of a cause, and he was not spared and left to die under the hands of human tyranny. Li Mingxu, again, Christopher, why bring up irrelevant points? Why think the Lord's work through one person alone? The Lord is in us all, after all. Now the Lord can speak to us all openly without the need of a singular leader. The divine gift of the Sophons is something that is our ally. We just need to do what is needed for the Lord. There's more agitation building up on Christopher's face internally. Internally, Christopher knew that Chu was saying was right, but his deep concerns was not fading. Li Mingxu, say, Christopher, how about we just focus on what we can do? After all, there is a pair of people we are seeing tomorrow who want us to join our cause. Christopher Marshall, yes, that's true. Let's not get bogged down in fear and paranoia. The death of those who were butchered was an evil tragedy, and son of the tyranny of humans. It shows they do not understand the Lord's blessing and mercy. Those who do so are to be condemned, and revenge will come to them. Marshall was a part of a union in America. A leader of a union, in fact. The battles against the American government over pay and wages led to prolonged and often doomed disputes. Upon hearing about the ETO, paired with the despair of the state of humanity, it was obvious for him that choice allowed solve humanity. Humanity was beyond saving for Marshall. As often in the battles, both the workers and the government often had no willingness to stand up for decency. Christopher Marshall and Li Mingxu, let's both unite in liberating humanity from human tyranny. Long live trust allowing society. Let's awaken the new order as a gift to our divine God. As both Christopher and Ju woke up, they conducted what they needed to be done, gathering the materials for the meeting the following day. An awe of caution and unease was like a cloud which could not go away. It was felt as if the ETO's continued existence was held only by a string that could snap at any moment. Quick note though, if I say 12th National People's Congress, I technically got that wrong, but I'll correct it in the writing later. So if I say 12th National People's Congress, that means more so the 18th National People's Congress, but that's regardless of the situation here. Everything else apart from that is absolutely correct. So when I talk about National Congress scene, when I say 12th Emergency National People's Congress, it will be the 18th Emergency National People's Congress, and I'll update that in my writing after recording the video. Chapter 2, Escalations of Proclamations. In Beijing, the environment was buzzing, with some in fear of what happened. Others were confused, and others were resolute in the willingness to fight. The proposed meeting of the National People's Congress made some confused. The confusion was around why there was another NPC meeting so soon. The last Congress was in 2008, with the 17th National People's Congress. Sorry, I said it's 17th. Sorry, that's my error. Regardless of the timing, the 2,987 members will attend once more, with the focus on the 18th National People's Congress, focusing on how to respond to the Trustolarian crisis. The main amendment on the table, an amendment proposed by an alliance of several delegates, to the decision of Standing Committee of the National People's Congress on banning heretical cult organizations, preventing and punishing cult activities. Media was actively covering the response by the CPC, with some calling it hasty and others supporting such an emergency change to the laws, which would impact millions of people. Leading up to the Emergency Congress, which would later be called the Eradication Congress, security in Beijing was enhanced, with People's Armed Police Army soldiers and soldiers were deployed due to the freshness of the ETO's attacks. Ma Yongzhou, President of the Republic of China, expressed calm from media in Taiwan, actively trying to prevent opportunistic attacks from the Democratic Progressive Party who are protesting use of military by Beijing. The dawn of the 12th National People's Congress has a cloud of unease surrounding the events. Perspective from Li Mingzhu and Christopher Marshall. Watching the news coverage, the anxiety Christopher had worsened. Being illegal already had its stresses, but adding on top maybe facing a national ban would make movement limited. Christopher Marshall. C. This is exactly as well as the government of humanity is corrupt. They see their words of the Lord and lock themselves up in fortresses of soldiers. Looking towards Xu responds with an absolute voice. It matters not. All humanity will die anyway. They are just scared for their lives and will put up walls of illusions of control, even if it means justifying murder. Both look again at the media cameras showing the close-up pictures of People's Army soldiers imposing a blockade. The day before the 18th National People's Congress, airports started coming in and out of Beijing, reinforced with increased security. The People's Armed Police stationed at airports. The over 2,000 delegates that will come in by special flights, increased security begins to come into the capital city. Religious freedom groups begin to join the protest outside the military in Beijing. Religious freedom NGOs begin to directly question the representatives about the content of the 18th National People's Congress with no response, with national security clauses cited, articles made by some with the premise of sowing doubt about the intentions and purpose spread online. The nature of the ETO's moves by some have been in dispute, with some siding with them in rhetoric, with a leak of information that the Chinese government has had a planned signal the massacre of the ETO. The leak made some religious freedoms NGOs wary about the intention of the Communist Party, saying that the Communist Party is planning a genocide, calling for a measured response towards the ETO. Regardless of the cause of the NGOs, the governments themselves did nothing, having a rare case of the American government not attacking the CPC over their actions. The end result of the NGO's advocacy had some physically attended protests numbering around 200 people. The American government advised people not to attend, discouraging interference. Cameras were set up around the venue of the NPC Congress, with media wanting to get as much footage as they could of the events, which resulted in some broadcasting of the protest with signs saying "No to genocide, oppose the bill," and so on. But as a whole, most media ignored the protest. To many, the protests were just seen as a standard complaint against the Communist Party and taken much less seriously in light of the Tritarian crisis. A representative of the NPC Congress opened up with an interview opportunity for domestic Chinese media where he said, In the 18th National People's Congress, we will decide the fate of how to respond to the crisis that has been thrown to us. The review on laws is relevant in relation to how we fight the influences of the ETO. The NGOs who claimed that we planted a genocide should know that they have no right to claim such a thing. The 18th National People's Congress will be live. but anyone attending physically will need to be behind security due to the sensitive nature of the Congress. It would be advisable for the NGO protest to go before it starts. In the name of the Politburo, I thank the media who has been covering the events in a law-abiding perspective. The Politburo's calm aura eased some tensions, with some tensions not being able to be eased. The day turned to night, and with the sunset came the night's rest before the 18th National People's Congress. If you enjoyed that segment I have given you, please comment below if you want me to continue every couple of chapters I do for it. And I am fine doing so in this manner, in a descriptive form and in an audio form. And I hope you enjoyed this 20-minute segment of it, because I am going to continue writing this side story, and if you want to go along with the journey, I will be very much happy to do so. And with that, enjoy your days, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed my effort putting into this video.